Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. This is going to be a really fun-filled evening, which will give you a phenomenal opportunity to go network with the best of the best that the industry has to offer in India, right here in this room. As Amrinder was talking about a lot of things, I was kind of worried that he's going to steal my thunder away. He started talking about digital platforms, he started talking about data analytics, he started talking about workforce transformation. And that's when I realized, honestly, every single thing that we are talking about here, every single thing that we've been thinking of, is something that's resonating with each one of you in this room. And I would be preaching to the choir if I were to tell all of you guys on the amount of change that the organization, the industry, the technology is having around us. Let me start, first and foremost, by introducing our new company. We are now Dell EMC. And the reason we are Dell EMC today is because we believe that as an organization, as a joint organization now, we are best poised to help all the organization and industry and help progress the human race. That really is a lofty goal that we are going with. And as I talk through you in the next couple of minutes, you will realize the vision and the progression that we are wanting to have in this space. Let's talk about what's happening around us. What's happening around us is a phenomenal amount of change. The entire technology circle is evolving at a pace that's never been seen earlier. Needless to say, and all of you know this is really the fourth industrial revolution. The only difference, though, is none of the earlier industrial revolutions happened at the pace that this is happening at. The change that we are seeing is phenomenal. And unless we keep pace with that change, it's going to really be difficult to be at the forefront of each of the industries that we represent. As much as the industry is changing, we as individuals are changing. You'll be surprised to know the number that you see here, 8 seconds, is really the attention span that a human being has today. No guesses, this is even lesser than the attention span of a goldfish. Does technology have a role to play? Answer is yes. Before the advent of smartphones, the attention span of human beings was 12 seconds. That's the amount of impact technology has had on us as individuals. We want to work wherever, whenever. All of us who have flown in from different places would have been on a mobile phone or a notebook early in the morning and then late in the evening, and we do this day in and day out, right? 80 to 90% of the people today want to work, want to telecommute. And this proportion will only go up and go up from being partly to fully. That's the impact that technology changes are having. As we do all of this, by the way, we are creating phenomenal amount of data. It is data after data after data. We need information. We need information real time. We need to know what is the shortest route to get to our home from office, a path that we take every day. Remember? 90% of the data that exists today is believed to have been created in the last 2 years. With IoT, and you saw what Jeff Clark is saying, there would be chief IoT officers. This data deluge is only going to increase. Imagine 2 years down the line, if we are on the same podium back again, and we say that 90% of the data has been created in the last 2 years, that would really mean that only 10% of what we have created in the last 2 years would be existing 2 years hence. Immense amount of data. And what do we do with that? While all of this is good, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening out there. There are 1 million cyber attacks that are happening practically every day. 1 million cyber attacks. What that means is you are now not just the custodians of your individual data, you are the custodians of your organization data, and that possibly is the biggest asset that organizations have today. So it's a phenomenally different world that we are heading towards. And as that happens, there are people who will embrace change, and there are people who will not. By the way, the reason all of you are here is because you embrace change. And when you embrace change, come a huge amount of opportunities of moving to the next level, of taking the organizations and the human progress to the next level. You also don't just change the organization or transform the organization, you actually end up transforming industries. And there are a phenomenal number of examples all around us. And I can maybe name a few. And think about it. The transformation is not happening only in the new age industries, it's happening in the old age industries as well. Look at cars, look at airlines. Within cars, Tesla has actually transformed a mechanical engineering industry to a software-defined industry. We would have never thought about this till a couple of years back, right? Forget a couple of years. We would not have thought of it 3 years back. On the airline side, GE Avionics, they're using data, they're using technology to go and do better fuel management, to do predictive analytics. The new age examples like a Airbnb, like a Netflix, are there in abundance. The point that it all boils down to really is the fact that change is a must. And if you lead the change, fantastic, then you will go and transform the industry. If we do not lead the change, somebody else will, and that will put us at the risk of obsolescence. So embracing change is more important today than it's ever been. And as we embrace change, we are enabling the world for good. A lot of us would not, 10 years back, would have imagined doing a video call with a doctor to find out the cure for the next big disease. But that's a reality, and that is exactly what is leading to progress in the human race. How do we enable human progress? And I spoke about this a little while back. We believe that with all the technologies that we are bringing in, and together with all of you, as an organization, we can together go and make this lofty goal happen. And how will this happen? It will happen because the rate of change, the only constant in this rate of change is this factor of 10x. Every 5 years, the technology is improving 10 times, 10 folds. Be it compute, our compute is getting 10 times more powerful, our storage is getting 10 times more denser, our bandwidth is getting 10 times more available. Now, if you look at a 5-year horizon, that's a factor of 10. Imagine if you look at a 15-year horizon. That's a factor of 3 tenths. And that's a factor, thus, of 1,000. By the way, 15 years is not too far behind, right? Far ahead. Year 2031, we are talking about our compute being 1,000 times more powerful, our storage being 1,000 times more denser, our bandwidth being 1,000 times more available. And remember, when you have the foundational infrastructure being that much more powerful, there are unlimited possibilities of doing things, small and big, that we have not even thought of. Imagine what it can do for human progress, for human health. A genome sequencing that takes 38 hours today will be done in 94 seconds in 15 years from now, in 2031. What that means is when a newborn goes out of the hospital, his DNA would be already sequenced, and he can have a personalized medicine for his lifetime. That's the impact of the technology changes that are coming around us. When you have 1,000 times more powerful compute and so on and so forth, you will have computers that will process at the speed of brain. Now, we have been talking about artificial intelligence for time immemorial. Time immemorial. But when this happens, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence will no more be something that we'll read only in books. That will be a reality. It's right there in front of us. By the way, we are already seeing some of this happen. Driverless car pilots are happening all around us. There are a zillion number of companies that are right now piloting driverless cars. But with computers hitting the speed processing of brain, you will actually see real examples, and majority of the cars out there in the market would be driverless. A completely new paradigm. Now, these are possibilities that we can think of today because we are seeing some of this evolve around us. There are a zillion other possibilities that we cannot even imagine. Again, small and big. How do we make that a reality for each of us individually? How do we make that a reality for our organizations, and how do we make that a reality for the industry and thus for the human progress. That really is the new world that we are stepping into. In the last 15 years, when you talk about the organization IT, it was an IT that was really within, technology was within the realms of IT, not within the realms of business. It was really about record keeping and reporting. But as you go ahead, it's going to be about being business-centric. IT would be in the realms of business rather than being in the realms of IT. It will be about systems of insight. It will be about systems of engagement, not just systems of record. We are not just going to be connecting PCs and laptops. We are going to be connecting every single thing that exists, not just the infrastructure, but around all of us, within our homes, within our organizations. The world that this will be is a world where you will be engaging your customers through mobile applications, where you would be developing applications that would be cloud native rather than being those traditional applications which we have been so used to keep the systems of record. A very, very transformative, a very, very different world from what we know of today. While all of this happens, remember, we have been spending trillions and trillions of dollars in building the traditional infrastructure. Not just infra, but even the applications. Take the example of any traditional application like SAP or Microsoft, for example. Now, you are going to need all of these applications even in the new world. You're not going to be able to throw them away tomorrow. While you need them tomorrow, what's required is to optimize the spending on this curve. And the moment you go optimize, you are getting into the new brave world of taking this spending away and building a new digital transformed future that will give you the wherewithal to take the monies away from the optimized mode and go spend that in building the new brave future into building a transformed world, not just for yourself, but for the industry and for the larger human race. That really is what we believe we as a partner can bring on table with all of you through our understanding, through the global expertise that we have built over the years. We believe digital transformation is not just a buzzword anymore. And it is very important that we are able to clearly segregate the tactical part of digital transformation. There are three pillars around which digital transformation will stand up. First and foremost is IT transformation. Unless you have an IT system that's transformed, that's modernized, that can automate service delivery, and is running something like a hybrid cloud, you will not be able to digitally transform the organization. Number two is workforce. We have got to move our workforce from the edge to the core. Innovation today is not just a prerogative of boardrooms. Innovation has to be the prerogative of every single employee that exists in the organization. So how do we go modernize the experience of our workforce? How do we bring them from edge to the core? How do we use tools such as augmented reality or virtual reality to go engage them more and more in innovation cycles? Again, innovation is not prerogative of one, it's a prerogative of every single person. And lastly, we spoke about it, security is overarching. With everything that you go and do, you need to have a security strategy that is business-driven, a security strategy that is predictive. It's not something that you can afford to miss out on in any key thing that you are planning. So clearly, digital transformation, best described as around IT transformation, is making the workforce digitally enabled, and is having a security envelope that encompasses all of what's happening within the organization. And as we talk to a lot of you, we also understand that organizations need partners who bring the expertise, not just in a country, but globally, not just in one industry, but across industries, that you can go and believe in and can put your trust in to help you through the journey of digital transformation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what we believe we are bringing on table here. With this merger, we have a technology powerhouse that brings in the best of all the worlds, right from technology, to innovation, from innovation to the capability of taking that innovation multiple folds and building a world-class, value system that can deliver to its promise, not just in products, but in strategy consulting, also in building the services that will go deploy those. And that really is what we have been able to build with the bringing together of the two companies, Dell and EMC. We are now the largest privately held technology company globally. We have the innovation engine, and we have the global expertise across industries, across verticals, across countries, and we have the skills to be able to provide all of this to you as a trusted partner. As we do all of this, just to give you a perspective on what all do we do, right at the bottom of the pyramid is the infrastructure that you will need to build your world-class transformed digital IT, right? Which is where comes the Dell EMC brand that brings the enterprise infrastructure. On top of that is virtualization and orchestration that comes in together from VMware. And on top of that is PaaS and applications that comes together from Pivotal. Now, Virtual Streams allows us to be taken on-prem or off-prem and wrap this around with the security layer through RSA and SecureWorks. That really is the power that we as a company now bring to all of you. As we talk about this, let me also tell you that we figure in the 20 leader quadrants in Gartner Magic Quadrants. We are number one when it comes to converged portfolio. We are number one when it comes to traditional storage, number one when it comes to virtualization, number one when it comes to cloud. And as we do all of this, remember, being number one helps us bring those technologies quicker, and it allows us to get feedback in a real-time basis from all of you. With that, let me stop here and work and hope that this quick conversation gives you a perspective on the capabilities that we bring and the way the world is changing and how we can partner together in transforming the world for a better human race. Thank you. Have a good evening.